welcome back. Today we're digging into a really common historical myth.
The one that says American chattel slavery was just, another form of slavery like any other throughout history.
Exactly. Our mission here is to really understand why so many historians argue that the U.S. system was fundamentally, different.
And that distinction is just so essential. I mean, if you want to grasp the modern consequences, you have to get the original structure right. We're not minimizing anything else, but you have to look at the unique DNA of the American system.
So let's start there, with the legal structure. I think the sources all point to three main pillars. It was permanent, hereditary, and race-based.
That's it. And it was all codified. I mean, these weren't just customs. They were laws designed for maximum extraction. And the hereditary status, that was the real linchpin.
The idea that it passed from mother to child.
Yes. The law literally said that a child born to an enslaved woman was automatically a slave. For life. It sealed their fate before they were even born.
And then there's the property status. They were, legally treated as objects.
Like livestock. Bought, sold, taxed.
Which meant families could and were systematically destroyed.
It was a feature of the system, not a bug. And all of this was locked in by one thing. Race.
This brings us to that Virginia law, right? From 1691.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It was critical because it legally defined white as a protected status and banned marriage between Europeans and Africans.
Yeah.
It built the walls of the caste system. If you were classified as black, that's it. There was no way out.
Okay, so that permanence is really why historians push back so hard against that slavery was everywhere argument.
Oh, absolutely. It's a false equivalence. When you look at ancient Rome or Greece or even some African empires, bondage was often conditional.
You could get out of it.
You could. A debtor might work off their debt.
Yeah.
Someone captured in war might eventually earn their freedom. Maybe even marry into the free population.
The U.S. system was designed from the ground up to be absolute.
And the scale was just. It was on another level. It's not even comparable. We're talking about millions of people in the transatlantic slave trade. Historians call it the greatest crime in human history for a reason. So saying others had slavery too just completely misses the point of this unique, racialized, intergenerational system.
So how on earth did they justify this? How did slaveholders convince an entire society that this was somehow natural or okay?
They had to build a whole ideological scaffolding. And it had two main parts. First, religion.
The curse of Ham.
Exactly. They twisted the curse of Ham story from the Old Testament to claim that Ham was black and that his descendants were cursed to be servants. But when that wasn't enough, they turned to pseudoscience.
Things like phrenology, right? Measuring skulls.
Yes, all that junk science. They'd measure head shapes to create so-called biological proof that black people were inherently inferior or maybe more tameable. It gave the whole brutal system this aura of being the natural order of things.
But the sources are clear. This was all an invention.
A total invention. The entire modern concept of race as we know it, this idea of linking physical traits to permanent legal and social inferiority, was pioneered right there in colonial Virginia. It was created specifically to justify and secure chattel slavery.
So the American system didn't just use race, it created the blueprint for it that then got exported around the world.
That's the most profound takeaway. This American model became the template for colonialism. You see its echoes in color caste systems and colorism across the globe long after emancipation. The idea had been legally established.
So bringing it all together, what's the bottom line here?
I mean, the sources conclude that because U.S. chattel slavery was so uniquely permanent, racialized, and multi-generational, its consequences are still with us. Things like wealth gaps, education gaps.
Yeah.
It's not just an incident from the past, it's the foundation.
So the argument that other forms of bondage existed somewhere else is?
It's irrelevant to America's specific responsibility. The unique crimes and the sheer scale of this system demand that we address its specific legacy.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. What specific legal or cultural barriers established during this era of codified racial status do you think have never fully fallen in modern society?